Hey guys, it is Mike with the Come the Night. Welcome back to another Song Suggestion Friday. This is the show where you guys put suggestions of songs that you would like me to listen to in the comments below. I pick from them, I throw them in a poll on Patreon. Patrons with a pledge of $10 or more a month get to put their suggestions into that poll as well. And patrons with $5 or more a month pledge get to vote on which ones I get to listen to. I take the top voted ones, I listen to them, I give you my feedback, my opinion. I grade them on a plus sign, equal sign, minus sign, based upon whether or not I would actively seek them out again. Plus sign means I would actively seek it out, minus sign means I would actively avoid it. Let's begin. Holy Diver by Dio. One of the most classic of classic metal songs. You have a very haunting wind and synth intro, kind of builds the atmosphere. Absolutely iconic, crushing main riff. I always thought the guitar tone was a little shrill on that, not quite beefy enough. The bass sounds absolutely baller. Dio gives a tour de force vocal performance as per usual. The mixing in general sounds like it's a little bit hot on the highs. It almost sounds like they may have run that through an Aphex oral exciter. The kick seems like it's missing some lows. This song is very simple, but between an epic performance by Dio, a very driving rhythm, and emphatic beats where they need to be, it makes this song feel epic. If you haven't heard this song, you need to go listen to it. It's a quintessential. If you haven't seen the music video, you need to go see it because it's fucking hilarious. Total grade for this song, 2 plus signs. Black Betty by Ram Jam. Yet another iconic guitar riff. It's kind of a fusion of rock and blues. The riffs are simple but tasty. Awesome use of rhythm in the vocal melody. That's really kind of what sells it, because the note selection is very simple, but the rhythm is interesting and gets you moving. At 52 seconds, it just stops and then starts sharp right back in, recording-wise, editing-wise. It sounded like they fucked up there and they punched it in right there and tried to fucking tape them together, and it just sounds really rough. It does not sound good. The song makes no sense to me lyrically, but really, who cares? At about 125, we start getting into some different riffs that starts to really take off at 155. That kind of helps get out of the monotony. Badass guitar harmonies with a driving drum beat and then a cool guitar solo. We come out of it with more guitar harmonies with thirds and fourths. Overall, the song feels very raw, very cool. Total grade for this song, plus sign. Don't Eat the Yellow Snow by Frank Zappa. Again, with the wind in the intros. At this point, I'm calling it a trope for frickin' prog and metal. Oh my god, Frank Zappa, you are such a weirdo. Really cool grooves in this song. The drums kind of feel bipolar at times. Absolutely love the vocal fills, like the harmony fills. They do some really cool harmonies and they mix up the affect on their voice and the rhythms. And that main riff on the bass and the guitar pretty much is the song. It just repeats over and over and over. The thing that saves this song for me from it getting annoying is the fact that one, it's really short, and two, everything else is doing so many different things it contrasts with that repetition very well. I don't get you, Frank Zappa, but I like you. Total grade for this song, equal sign. You Know My Name by Cornell. Absolutely huge intro and an interesting choice to put that lead in there. I can't tell if the guitar lead sounds like horns or it's doing the exact same thing as the horns. Absolutely love the verse vocals, love the strings and the orchestral arrangement behind it. And again, throughout that verse, it sounds like the guitar sounds like horns, but I can't tell if they're both playing the same part or they're doing different things. They kind of get mashed together, and I don't necessarily think that's bad. The chorus is super kick-ass, and that's when you're like, oh my gosh, this is in a James Bond film. I knew I recognized it from somewhere. The mix is very clean, almost poppy. The chorus melody feels energizing almost. It feels very adventurous, like it gets you pumped and your spirits high and ready to go kick some ass. The guitar tone is very classic, which is very Cornell. And with the exception of a few chords, the songwriting style does not sound a lot like Cornell. You can definitely tell this was co-written. This song definitely had me jamming. Very cool. Total grade for this song, plus sign. Angel by Hendrix. Absolutely love that intro guitar. I can hear a number of my influences in that intro. Now, you guys are probably about to crucify me. Hendrix has never really been my thing, and it's not because I think he's terrible or anything. For a while, I thought he was overrated, but I have since turned around on that. He is an extremely important guitar player in music history. I just really think that the tone of his guitar and the way that he articulates his notes and doesn't play, he plays a little sloppy from time to time, it bothers me. Again, no disrespect, it just doesn't always grab me. The little delay on the chorus vocals was a nice touch. And listening to this songwriting, it basically just sounds like he's just playing around with chords and just figuring out what feels good to him, and that's kind of respectable. The production for the time is good, and what's funny is I'm pretty sure Holy Diver was like either 10 or like 12 years after this song, and it sounds just as good as Holy Diver's production. The drums are super dry. That's another thing I wasn't a huge fan of with Hendrix. The kick and the toms have less of a thump and more of a thud. Whole song together is very pretty, very chill, and the ending kind of mixes it up a little bit, gets a little crazy, kind of does a fade out, fade back in with a cymbal swell. It adds some personality to it. Total grade for this song, equal sign. So lonely by The Police. It is this song. I never really thought about the song being called So Lonely. Of course, the reggae rock that is The Police, almost California sound. How in the hell does he sing that high? It really sounds like he's straining a bit, but honestly, it doesn't bother me. I always loved the contrast of the chilled out verse with the accelerando chorus. The vocal melody and performance throughout the entire song is very gripping. It is definitely repetitive, but honestly I don't mind. Of course, by the time we modulate later in the song and he keeps doing it, and it's like, okay, I'm getting a little over this. The bass tone is great. The guitar tone is definitely too thin. There's way too much spectrum separation between those two. And the drums are super dry again. What is it with those people? Surprisingly, that guitar solo is actually interesting. Altogether, song is very fun. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Ghost Division by Sabaton. Holy shit, that intro. It is fucking huge, and they have a perfect layering of all the instruments involved. I would definitely slightly change the tone of the guitar and definitely remix the guitar, but otherwise, I mean, it sounds fucking awesome. The dude's vocals are fucking epic. It almost makes me laugh. He tries very hard, and you can tell he's putting his heart and soul into it. And they also sound Germanic as hell. The chorus, as with most of the Sabaton songs I've listened to, is very anthemic. Lyrically, with a lot of the stuff I've listened to, I just keep getting the feeling these guys are Nazi sympathizers, legit. Most of the energy comes from rapid dynamics, sound palette, and the thickness of the instrumentation. That, and also how they mix the verb. That verb makes this thing feel huge. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Aesthetics of Hate by Machine Head. What the hell with this intro? Very powerful main riff. And the way that they add accents to that riff throughout the verse kind of gives it more power. Really not caring for the vocals so far, and I know I really liked them when I listened to Halo, but for some reason this just feels different to me. At 140, that guitar chug going back and forth between the speakers is cool. The drums here feel really good too. This song is definitely riff-tastic. At 216, you got some pretty cool lead lines going on, followed by two complementary guitar solos that are going over top of one another, kind of a little bit of a call and response, a little bit of harmonization. I love that both guitar players can solo and complement each other simultaneously so well. There is a lot of classical theory in this song, quite European at points. The feel at 454 was really cool. The counterpoint of the drum rhythm right there really sells the feel. And the song did not have a set structure, and I really liked that. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Ghosts of Days Gone By Ultra Bridge. That intro is so adorable, I just want to pinch its cheeks. The vocals are very solid, they just sound slightly douchey. Not bad, just douchey. How did I know that the chorus is gonna have the snare and then suddenly it's like we open it up? It's so predictable. Alt bridge kind of sounds like alt rock on this song. The melody is really good, and when I thought more about it, I think a different singer could have delivered this song a lot better. The chorus is epic and the guy did a really good job, but a singer with a more natural tenor voice, I think could have blown this out of the water. I was not expecting the bridge to explode into some badass metal. Quite headbangable. The mix and master are great. I can hear everything very clearly, but nothing feels separated. They feel glued together. And that chorus melody will have you hooked by the end. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Lovers in Japan by Coldplay. The intro is interesting, and that is a weird place to put a honky-tonk piano, but I mean, I've heard worse things for sure. I'll take it. The guy's voice is good, but the way that he's singing makes me want to punch him. The vocal melody is good and effective. One of my biggest issues with alt rock, and especially alt indie fucking pop rock shit, is they sacrifice dynamics for the spacey atmosphere, and they think that it's cool. And it feels so flat and dull, like you're doing fucking heroin or pills or some shit. This song is a prime example of that. And the song also kind of reminds me of something that would be like a rock analog to a hip-hop beat, where you have just a bunch of very basic parts that are not difficult or interesting to play on their own, but when all mixed together, sound more complicated than what they really are. At 3:56, we release out of this into a different feel, and I believe a more chilled out feel. It is very pretty, it is smooth and relaxing. The production all around is good, the drums feel a little scooped, which I think helps complement the sound. The vocals at 4:37 I fucking despise. Like, he didn't even try. He just showed up. Like, Bob Dylan could sing fucking better, bro. And see, now by going to the second part where it also has no fucking dynamic, they try to manufacture some dynamic by taking 2 songs, which is basically what this is. This one song is essentially 2 songs. Fusing them together at the ends and having one with flat dynamic and then dropping off into another one that has lower dynamic that's still flat. It's just like, God, come on, man. I don't hate this song. I don't despise it. I'm just picking these little things out because as a songwriter and musician, it bugs me. But honestly, I mean, it just doesn't get there for me. If you haven't figured out by now, a large part of my appreciation for music is how it's made. Total grade for this song, =. My suggestion for you this week is to first check out my buddy's band Lines in the Sky. They just released a new album this week. It is kick-ass. I will put a link to that in the description. The name of the band again is Lines in the Sky, but Ryan aptly named them Thank You, Periphery, and Cambria. And my other suggestion for you this week is the enormous ball of cheese that you guys actually suggested that I rate, although I loved it well before I even started this show. True Survivor by David Hasselhoff. This song is so over the top and meaningless, but it's fucking amazing. If you like 80s music and 80s B-movies or like 80s action movies, you'll love the fuck out of this song. It's an awesome anthem. That is it for Song Suggestion Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave your suggestions in the comments below. If you would like to put your suggestions in the poll, pledge $10 or more a month on Patreon, or if you just want to vote on the poll, you can pledge $5 or more a month on Patreon. If you don't want to do a rolling pledge, I also have a link down there to tip me on PayPal or on Bitcoin, or if you want to get some cool merch, I have a link to my merch store. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Become the Knight. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Rock on!